Welcome back to Tip of the Iceberg, everyone, and before we start, I'm just gonna go ahead and say a few things. So I'd just like to let you guys know, I know in the previous video I did say this channel is going to be called Deep Freeze. It's not going to be, because I thought that name was gay, and I kind of it just popped in my head. I was like, okay, whatever. But I changed it because I want to be edgy and cool. Anyways, let's get right on into this episode of Tip of the Iceberg, I guess. Alright. Now that's over, welcome back to Tip of the Iceberg, everyone. My name is Frost, and today we're just going to be talking about whatever comes my head. So the first thing I want to talk about is the first thing I'd like to talk about is Call of Duty World War II. Now, me being someone who plays Call of Duty and Battlefield, I can say that I've visited both ends of the spectrum, so I've got a pretty clear-cut view. In my opinion, I mean, it was a step in the right direction, but they didn't quite get there enough. Nothing's really going to be as good as World at War was, because it was just, I mean, it was everything you'd want out of a Call of Duty game. The type of game Call of Duty is here's a gun, shoot stuff. That's just what it is. It's not strategy, you know. That's why everyone got so pissed off when we come up with the future stuff, because we don't want that. We just want to shoot people, alright? That's just kind of it. I mean, so really, a lot of people have been commenting on the fact you can have black female Germans in the game. I feel like that statement itself is a bit misleading, because when they say the game, they're just talking about the multiplayer. They're not talking about the actual campaign, and a lot of people are inferring that to include the campaign, and people are not very happy about that until they realized, holy shit, it's not in the campaign, this is fine. But what these people that are saying this are failing to relay is that it's not in the campaign. Most people would consider the game to be the entire game, not just the multiplayer, so I feel like that statement's a bit misleading. It only appears in the multiplayer because, like, in the most recent Call of Duties in the multiplayer, they've been focusing on character customization. You know, they're not going to focus on John Smith from Townville, California, who got drafted, because that's for the campaign, that's not for multiplayer. Multiplayer is you in the combat role. It's not the character you play as. That's campaign's job. Multiplayer's job is to be you shooting stuff. You know, multiplayer is not really to immerse you. It's just to shoot things. At least in Call of Duty. Battlefield is a different story. I mean, it's still got the basic shoot things, but it's also got the strategy. I wouldn't say so much for Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 kind of like deviated from that, but Battlefield 4, there's definitely a strong team-oriented gameplay feeling. So that's one good thing about the game. Everything else is pretty much bad, though. So one thing is the pandering to child audiences, and this is on gameplay of Call of Duty World War II. You can clearly see from a lot of overlooked things that it's just pandering to child audiences. One thing that you could make out from that nobody really talked about, at least nobody I've talked to, is that there's almost no, like, gore or blood in it at all, which is kind of one of the things that makes a shooter, by the way. So yeah. Another thing that's obviously intended to attract casual players or child audiences is just no recoil at all on any weapon in the game. And maybe there was a few, but it was like, doop, doop, you know, it moved a little bit. Holy shit, this is too hard now. So the thing is, if you're gonna pander to a child audience or to a certain demographic, that's fine. All right, that's a completely ethical business tactic, but like, admit it before you do it. I mean, like, slide it into the preview or something, like, Call of Duty World War II brings equality for all players, or whatever their infectious far left stuff is, their motto. I don't know. This wasn't really pandering to child audiences much, but the below average graphics really did not make me feel very happy about the game. You know, a game made in 2017. Just to be clear, we're developing actual flying cars now, and Call of Duty is still stuck on the same really bad graphics engine. Uh, you know, I want to make that really overused pun from the Springfield footage about clipping issues, because it's got clipping issues in every sense of the word. Loading it through the scope, I you know, if I took a bullet and like threw it at the scope of a rifle for right now, I'm pretty sure it'd just like bounce off of it and maybe explode. I don't know. Uh, I mean, it's a good game for casual players, and I assume casual players will enjoy it. If you're a casual player and you don't enjoy it, and you're just like, we can't satisfy you, apparently, because this is the lowest of low. Black Ops 3 wasn't even this bad. Uh, but honestly, if you're a Call of Duty player and you want something like a gritty shooter feeling, I know there's a really big divide between Call of Duty and Battlefield, but I'm just saying, try it out. I used to be the really big anti-Battlefield dude. I saw it for free once, like with the exclusive deals with gold on the Xbox, because I'm a console peasant. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a PC guy. I like to just sit back and play, but that's a discussion for another time. Uh, I downloaded Battlefield 4. It was nice. I'm gonna be honest. It was really good. It made me forget about Call of Duty for a good 3 months or so, because but anyways, definitely I would recommend Battlefield if you're getting tired of the Call of Duty series, because I got tired of the Call of Duty series, started playing Battlefield, stopped playing Call of Duty because Battlefield is better. And I did say something about Elder Scrolls earlier. So talking about Elder Scrolls, uh, again, more complete originality for me, talking about something that absolutely no one on this fucking website has said before. Skyrim's kind of a dead game. I mean, it was fun. It's still fun, but I mean, after 7 years, the game's kind of dead. Eventually, I'll have to make a new game to shut people like me up, because it's been 7 years, 7 years, and kind of kind of a long hiatus to just like every year. Oh, don't worry, we'll get it eventually. Then in 2012, we'll get it eventually. 2013, we'll get it eventually. That goes on till 2017, and now people are like, okay, that's what you said 7 years ago. What are you doing? Why? This is not okay. Like, I understand, Fallout 4 and like Elder Scrolls Legends, Elder Scrolls Online, all that. But at the same time, I don't even know if Elder Scrolls Online is about that, because like Elder Scrolls Online, they were only published by Bethesda. Alright, their software team, their software company had nothing to do with that. There was another company that I forgot the name, but yeah. But anyways, the funny thing about this is it's almost like they're trying to make all these different spin-offs. So they're trying to get our mind off of Elder Scrolls 6, and it's not happening. They're trying their best to do it because they don't want to make a new one. Alright? They really don't. I mean, why else would you make every possible spin-off of Skyrim? I mean, it can't possibly net that much money. I mean, yeah, it was a really good game. It still is a really good game, but at the end of the day, it's dead. Alright? You know? Like, let's take if I made a video of me playing Battlefield 1 and used the tag, uh, Happy Wheels, which nobody really streams anymore, uh, no one would watch that video because no one watches Happy Wheels streams anymore because no one makes them anymore. So that's basically it. Okay, that's it for the gaming category. So, as a fan of the core genre, which does lie within the metal genre, that's not what an elitist would tell you, but a sensible person would let you know that metalcore and deathcore are indeed metal genres. Not only that, a lot of people want to bash metalcore and deathcore for not being technical enough, not like instrumentally lacking. But the thing about it is aren't you the same people that are arguing that metalcore evolved from punk, so it's not an actual metal genre? Okay. Take the fact that it's evolved from punk and go on that. Do you honestly think a grandfather genre that consists of uh like easy drum fills and the same three chords being played over and over in different tempos, do you honestly think the goal of that is to sound instrumentally intricate? No, it's to sound loud. And that's honestly just about it. I mean, you know, the bottom line with that is just like to sound loud, sound good, and have fun doing it. I mean, that's pretty much the entirety of the metalcore genre. So, I'm just saying, like, all genres are gonna have their intricacies and have their not intricacies. And, I mean, if you want to call deathcore not technical at all, first of all, I personally think you're just talking about the guitar. Because, the vocals, I mean, the lyricism, obviously, is not 10 out of 10 deep and meaningful. The vocals, I mean, unless you've got the right kind of voice for it, you can't really do it without hurting yourself. And as far as, I'm not going to talk about bassists because bassists don't do anything top tech. But as far as drumming goes, try and hold a blast beat for more than 30 seconds. But I mean, I guess that makes it even out. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Not making it sound like all Muslims are retarded, because they're not all retarded, but the entire alt-right is pretty retarded. Okay. Why? And that might sound hypocritical, but the reason why it's not is because the alt-right doesn't have layered beliefs. They want authority, control, all that. the same core beliefs I've told you. While Islam, there are some that are Orthodox Islam, no women's rights, no freedom or anything, basically like the alt-right. But unlike the alt-right, there are layers to their beliefs, meaning that some of them are extreme, some of them aren't. But the alt-right in itself is an extreme philosophy. Therefore, you can't be alt-right and not be extreme. And that's the reason you can say not all Muslims, but you can't say not all alt-right, because the alt-right as a whole is pretty autistic. Alright. So, the alt-left, I'm just going to say, Antifa. You can line the analogies up. They're autistic enough to. They're like the alt-right, but left. I don't know how else to describe it, but. And as far as metalcore goes, I mean, metalcore is like deathcore, but not as heavy, and my deep lyrics, 10 out of 10. And like, I mean, at the end of the day, the thing is, as a person who listens to metalcore, it's not so heavy that you want to fucking kill yourself and like slice your ears off, but it's heavy enough to where you're like, oh, yee bo. But again, like, why are you going to attack the people in the metal, like attack someone in a different genre, That's how this works. We're metal, we're supposed to hate everything that's not metal. We're not supposed to hate. That's like, I think that's where some of the hatred comes from in the first place, is because we've indoctrinated ourselves to think if it's not metal, we gotta hate it, and then we think that core genres aren't metal, and then we use that same principle and we attack those genres, not really realizing that they're actually metal. And using that analogy, that brings us into our third topic. And not our third topic, our third topic group. This is going to be a fun, and you know how I said the others were 10 out of 10 original? This topic's going to be 12 out of 10 original. Alright. This is probably a very well talked about topic. So yeah, I saved this one for last because I don't know. I didn't feel like talking about this exactly, but now I kind of feel like talking about it, and this is the last segment. So, using that previous analogy, we're going to be talking about far left and far right fringe groups. The reason I say far left and far right is to acknowledge the fact that not everyone on the left is retarded. Regardless of what far right fringe groups say, not everyone on the right is retarded, regardless of what the far left fringe groups say. But the thing about it is, when the far left calls the far right retarded, and the far right calls the far left retarded, you realize what you're doing, right? This makes you both retarded. Okay? Please stop. Using the previous analogy, though, taking this into account, so I feel like far left groups are a better example, but far right groups are definitely, they definitely have their own faults. Let's take this into account. Alright? So, a far right fringe group is definitely the alt-right. I have trouble even speaking with them because, not to sound like the people I'm talking shit about, but they're all retarded. The thing about the alt-right is, one, they don't use logic. Two, here are some of the core beliefs of the alt-right. Alright? Belief 1, pro-gun. Belief 2, anti-quote-unquote degeneracy. Belief 3, hate everyone that's not of your same ideology. That means they hate Islam. Here are some of the core beliefs of Islam. Pro-gun. Anti-quote-unquote degeneracy. Hate anyone that's not of your ideology. Hopefully you can see what I'm getting at there. And with that, that wraps up our very first episode of Tip the Iceberg. I hope you all enjoyed this, and hopefully my friend will be able to join us next time. I know I said we'll have him on a few episodes, but sadly he didn't. I couldn't get in touch with him, so I went ahead and did this episode just so I could like get this out there, because I promised an episode, and like, I don't know, I think I promised one within a few days, but I'm not sure. Plus, I mean, I just had the time to do it this time, so I was like, yeah, let's do this. So anyways, my name again is Frost. Thank you all for watching my shitty, unoriginal show. Bye.